Welcome back to WCS America Challenger and to game number 3 between Jim and Bomber. Bomber's been absolutely dominant through games 1 and 2. And it has to also be said that Jim's had a couple of questionable decisions.
Yep, Jim is a fantastic Protoss player, but I often sometimes, like what we said earlier today about Alicia, like Alicia kind of beats the people you expect him to beat, and then he often loses to the people you expect him to lose to. I feel that Jim is starting to kind of become one of those Protoss players as well. Like Jim is solid, and he often just beats the players you expect him to beat, but it seems like he plateaued a little bit as well. Now maybe that's not very fair to say, because he was extremely close to defeating Sulky in the semi-finals of WCG. He had a 2-1 lead over, you know, probably the best Zerg in the world, if not one of the best 3 Zergs in the world. So maybe Jim is still improving, but we haven't really seen it. He came in with a bang, and he made a big splash on the scene when he entered. He dismantled Nesty back then in the very first series we casted of him. He also was able to defeat Major. Overall, he looked really good, solid. He had a good run, made it to WCS round of 8. Later on, made it to WCS round of 16. It was all good and fun, lots of Jim jokes. But ever since then, like against very good players, he definitely seems to struggle. Like again, Tasia absolutely destroyed him last season in WCS, and now so far the same thing seems to be happening in this series with Bomber, as Bomber just looked a little better than Jim.
Yeah, and yeah, Bomber's been on point today, man. It has to be said. Going with the Reaper opening once more, probably going to be a Reaper expand. Jim is once again gateway, probably into a Nexus, but there's now 3 match points, Roddy, and Bomber has such a... Oh, man, he's going to even drop the eBay in the natural, just to confuse things further for poor Jim.
I think this probe will see it, though. I don't think Jim is going to cancel his Zealot unless he plays autopilot mode, but the whole purpose of making this Zealot at first is so you can kill an eBay if you see one.
Yeah, he's seen it in time, so he should let that Zealot
There's very
finish.
little HP. Like, it's almost up to the point where the probe could take care of it, but the moment that you cancel your Zealot, then the SUV comes back and starts repairing it. Engineering base gain HP at rapid speed.
Yeah, they do. So the Zealot's going to come and hammer away for a little while. But mission accomplished. Oh, no, actually, Bomber just insta-cancels. Says, you know, with the Zealot there, it's not worth it. Reaper pops up into the main base just as that mothership core spawns. Got to say, Jim's got his mothership timing on point. He's not really had much troubles with Reapers today. What does Bomber do from here, though? I mean, he's shown us 2 base aggression. He's shown us 3 base aggression.
I think just a 2 Rex opening this time. I don't think he's going to drop that 3rd Rex. Because it seems like the early 3rd Rex is not really worth for him. He's almost able to pick up that probe. He will succeed in doing so, but not before it drops the Nexus. It is super annoying for a Protoss player if you lose that probe before the Nexus goes down. But I think it's just going to be a 2 Rex this time. Tech lap on the Rex, and then just quick med effects. Twilight Council going down for Jim.
Insta Twilight Council. This could be Blink Stalker all in.
That's definitely what I'm spelling. Ben Youngsu is an excellent map for it. It is cool to see that Jim has a lot more variety in his playstyle, because in the old days we've casted 5, 6, 7 Colossus Phoenix PVTs in a row, which even though it was fun because it was Jim and we were having a lot of fun, at a certain point it got a little redundant. But
well, also in the old days he was winning every single one of them, and maybe what we're seeing is a little bit of frustration in Jim. Tried to play his tried and true strat in game 1, got shut down. Tried to mix it up in game 2, got shut down. Maybe we're seeing desperation. The Blink Stalker all in here in game 3.
It's gonna get scouted most likely, at least. Well, this Reaper sees 2 Stalkers, and sometimes you don't even have to see the Twilight to know that it's coming, Ben.
That's a good point.
No Marauder in production yet, though. So, of course, seeing is believing. But I think that Bomber has a pretty good idea, even though I don't think that's something he expects. Like, if I was a close friend of Bomber and he would ask me for advice, like, hey, how does this Jim Cloud play? I was like, well, the last thing in the world you have to worry about is Blink Stalker all in. But it seems like that's actually what Jim wants to do here.
Bomber trying so hard to scout, and Jim doing a great job of denying it.
I think he's still expecting his target, because I think right now what he's expecting is just that his opponent is trying hard to hide his target, and now Bomber's thinking like, ha, hiding your target. You think I don't know you're going to target? Because he's still producing Marines. And that makes me think that he's worried about either Phoenixes or Oracles.
I think it's time to suicide that Reaper and find out, and he's never going to know.
2 additional immediately cancels one of the Marines and drops a Marauder after seeing those 2 extra gates and 3, 4 Stalkers over there. Bomber knows what time it is. This time he doesn't have to worry about the Stargate.
Righteous game sense, man. And maybe we say, well, he's seen enough, but still. 2 warping in gateways on top of the Stalkers that he saw. That's enough for Bomber to feel like he knows what's up. And we see 5 more gates going down now for Jim. Bomber frantically dropping bunkers and trying to produce as many Marauders and Marines as he can. That stem upgrade looks like it's probably going to finish before Jim crosses the map, and that could be bad news for our Protoss player.
But as long as there are not too many Marauders, it's still possible. Jim normally should indeed have a mine and win. There's one Widow mine in production, by the way, Ben. And if that mine can somehow connect with the Mothership Core, that would be so massive. That's definitely what Bomber is going to pray for. It is indeed quick stim. It will be ready within 20 seconds. So Jim's push, I'm not sure if it's a little late or everything from Bomber is just a little early. Maybe the truth is somewhere in between. Either way, he's going to indeed run into a few Marauders. There are 2 out on the map right now, third one's on the way. I don't know, I have a hard time imagining this is going to work for Jim. I know if I'm in this scenario, I don't make it work, but...
honestly surprised to see how dominant Bomber's been in this series. I thought it'd be a little bit closer, but Jim is in a must-win situation right now.
He's just gonna blink in. Oh, he's gonna blink into Widow Mine.
And right on top of the Widow Mine, it's gonna blast a single Stalker. No units inside that bunker, and a fantastic time warp. This is a good start for Jim.
Yeah, that time warp is really annoying. Stim being used as well, so now you can start microing as well. All come down to micro.
Mothership Core goes down, and a lot of Stalkers going down as well. And that
it's hard to micro against Stim though.
That is maybe the end of it.
Especially if there are Marauders in the mix. Is he gonna remake that Mothership Core like Desi did, man? Nope. Jim is gonna throw a double forge up behind this. He's gonna try to forge without a bunch of units right now with the first medevac. He's gonna bring the medevac to the main base of Bomber. Of Jim. This time he knows that there is no detection. Maybe Jim is worried. I think Jim saw it. Caught a glimpse of it. Still, he's gonna need a cannon up immediately, but still, this Widow Mine banner is gonna do some work on this probe line. And so far, it just looks like Bomber is in absolutely fantastic condition.
Oh, Jim is really feeling the medevac drop, trying to hunt it down, but alas, he's not going to get there in time. And he will be denied mining in his main base for a little while.
Yep.
Which is a bummer.
Or he's just going to lose a few probes and then warp in a cannon. Silly from Bomber to do it like that.
Yeah,
I think. He could have just dropped it over here and burrowed immediately.
Probably a misclick there. Maybe he was trying to declick and then he...
that's good news for us, Ben, at least, because that means that we still have a game on our hand, because if this Widow Mine would have killed 6 probes in the 9 mining time, then it's absolutely game over. It is still in a... still Bomber is in a pretty damn good position, as his army right now is just way stronger than the army of Jim. But with a Photon Overcharge and defensive Blink Stalkers, Jim is putting new words to the meaning of the Artosis firing as well. He's like, who is this Artosis guy? I can be more famous than him.
Jim's also Ukrainian. Yep. In case you guys weren't sure.
It's his alter ego.
Yeah, you know, Russia's a big place and it extends over into Asia. That's where Jim's from.
Novosibirsk, his hometown.
I think I'm maybe pretty good with the Blink Stalker.
Vladivostok. You know, Vladivostok is further away than Beijing from Paris.
It's kind of crazy.
And it's in Russia.
That Roddy geography trivia. I feel like you'd do well at a trivia night.
Of course I do well, Ben. You know I'm a smart person.
I mean, people that are good at trivia are people with like lots of useless information in there.
Yeah, that's definitely me. Charge is on the way. Scan goes down in the main base of Jim. Bomber sees pretty much everything he wants to see. Bomber also sees this. He's like, soon. That's what Bomber is saying. He's like, you even left a little spot for me to drop. That's so kind of you. Soon, Jim. Soon.
If only High Templar could burrow. You could burrow one right there and just drop unloads.
You know what this reminds me of? Like these big flat or apartment complexes where you're just like surrounded by high buildings. You often see some cool pictures on Reddit, places like that.
Reminds me of Sao Paulo.
Yeah, I'm sure they have it in Sao Paulo. I'm sure they have it in Korea, Tokyo.
And definitely in China too. Looks like Bomber's ready to roll, Kev. He's even gotten a Ghost Academy. I never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah, Bomber with Ghosts. I guess this is first for everything. Bomber's like, alright, I'm pretty good shape right now. All I need to do is press that E button a couple of times on top of those units with those purple health bars that normally cause me a lot of trouble. Then I think I'll be good.
Perhaps not wanting to relive the storms that he experienced on Frost.
I mean, this is still a little tricky as Charge is going to finish up. I mean, Bomber's army is magnificent, don't get me wrong, but as long as Jim is on 2 base, even though he's just wiped in the turret, it could be kind of tricky. Here comes the SCV pool as well, man. This is Bomber as we know him. Storm is not ready yet. Fortune is going to go down. The SCVs are not here yet.
This could be a good place to force field.
Destroy the rocks?
This Bomber does manage to sneak down the ramp just in the nick of time.
Okay. Bomber's like, well then, sure, I'll take the other way.
It's going to be a race. Sentries are close enough, though.
I thought they dropped the time bar, but he didn't, so you can still drop a photon overcharge. Do we have high Templars? We have 3 of them. He cancels that 3rd base. Sure, why try to go to 3 bases when you're being all in anyway? Oh.
This might actually be a salvageable.
If he EMPs the Mothership Core in the sentries, though. Yep,
wow,
nailed
it. Perfect EMP Bomber. The one time he makes ghosts. It works out perfectly.
I don't always make ghosts, but when I do,
I EMP everything. Bomber pressing forward. The DPS of this Bio Army is going to shred the Protoss player to bits. Finally, a couple of force fields going to go down. And Jim's trying to make the most
Storm
of
is
what
almost
he
ready,
has.
man. Here come the storms.
First ones are good, and he's going to clean up a lot of the bio, but still, Bomber pushes forward.
He's going to bring the probes as well. No, 26 against 83 Army Supply.
Not going to happen, because right when you feel like you've held, Bomber's going to reinforce. Jim taps out, good game, and Bomber, one-time WCS champion, shows us just why with an utter dismantling